you more honest?
Me or him?
So, David, you can't ask any, like, certain questions, right?
Oh, I can ask anything.
Leading questions.
I'm going to lead you as much as I can. No, this is going to just, we just want to know all about the product in 45 minutes.
Okay. All right.
And I'll tell everybody that's in here, Jonathan had a real good outline. I shared some ideas on how we'd like to cover it too, so I think he'll be pretty well organized.
Yeah, so for today, I'm going to kind of, stay real focused on the web platform side of things. That would include the company and then what the agents receive as part of that offering. And then tomorrow we'll stay focused on the CRM tools, the e-marketing tools that both more so on the agent side, because as far as lead management, we can break that off to a separate discussion, like you said, with whatever appropriate team that may be in regards to lead routing and distribution methods.
And I'll tell you, Jonathan, we have more than half of our people are agents, so do focus on the agent product as much as you can here.
Sure. So, and everything that I show you, even from a company level, from a web platform side, the agents would receive identical product, but the focus from the agent side is the branding. So I get the same tools for the company, but it's branded to me. So if it's okay, I'll go ahead and get started. Delta Group, we're located in Canton, Ohio, Pro Football Hall of Fame. We roughly have around 30 employees here. We serve only real estate. It represents about 600 real estate offices nationwide. And probably for the last 15 years that I've been involved, we've seen the industry evolve so much, and we continue to be on the front lines of continuing to evolve the product, not because we at Delta think this is a great idea, but because of the engagement with our clients as to what do you guys need to be to see yourself as a success in your local marketplace, and that's an honest statement. So for the purpose of today, we are tech people, so forgive me if I don't say things in exactly the right way all the time, but what we do very well, and we realize with our real estate partners that we want to we want to make you more efficient at the end of the day. So for today, I'm going to go focus mainly on web platform, and probably the biggest transition from the last 2 years from our platform is thinking desktop to mobile. So in 2016, it's been our priority that everything is mobile first. Everything that we build is mobile. I'm not sure exactly which stats you may be seeing from your analytical standpoint, but across our platform, on average, about 60% of the users coming to any of our sites are coming from either a mobile device or a tablet.
45, Jonathan, 45% with us.
Yep. Okay. And I would imagine you're seeing that almost double. Probably for the last couple of years, it's probably been doubling. So
yeah, this time last year it was probably 40%, and it's moved to 45%. It'll be 50% by the end of the year.
I think someone else might have joined us.
I keep going.
It's Renee.
Yep. Just our people will come and go. So keep moving.
All right. So I apologize here. So again, with building the mobile first web platform, it's thoughtful design because again we're thinking of mobile. What I want to do is on the left-hand side you're going to see the mobile version. On the right-hand side you're going to see the desktop version. And again, this will come together for the agents because the major difference is that if it's my personal site as part of the company solution, it's going to be branded to me, which I'll show you in a minute. So here's a side-by-side comparison, again, back to the thoughtful design of mobile and desktop, of content layout, homepage layout. Obviously, 90% or more of your visitors are going to be home buyers. But again, we are positioning content, and I'm going to say this lightly because I know it's more of a strategy, but again, you'll see where we're placing specific area content for the purpose of search engine, or so that the crawlers can crawl the areas that you specialize in. And we'll expand on that, in a separate conversation. So the next thing I'll show you is we developed this is the 10th version of our quick search. So on your screen, again, you're seeing an example of someone doing a search on mobile and on desktop for a specific area. Our system is built to search all MLS data, even multiple MLSs, city, subdivision, MLS number, address, school district, and then we can modify the home search itself too. So if you want to add additional criteria to that based upon how your consumers are searching, we can do that. So this is just a good example of a consumer coming to the site and quickly searching for a property. Now, in 2012, we developed we're actually patent pending for it, but we developed profiling users. So when someone comes to your site, an unknown user, we are tracking what they're doing. And through this browsing, we can watch their browsing patterns so that through that session, we can display relevant offers as to what they're doing. So maybe in a property search, the example that you see on your screen is that we're asking the user, why don't you sign up for the latest listing updates? Give us your first name, last name, and email address, and we will in turn give you a daily email or an instant update of new listings that hit that criteria. We also would have other trigger points, such as maybe I'm on a listing. So the system might say, Jonathan, or it doesn't know my name quite yet, but why don't you save this listing? First name, last name, and email address, and we'll create the account. Or maybe I'm browsing photos. So again, throughout the browsing process, the system will, create relevant offers. And this is the way that we believe we're generating a more qualified lead for our clients versus required registration. So again, I as a user can click no thanks at this point, and the system will continue to let me browse. It's still tracking what I'm doing, but eventually I'm going to give the system my first name, last name, and email address, and our system will marry that data up.
Okay, this is automatic if the people just do it. Nothing else has to be done. The visitor can set that up and it's done.
Absolutely, and this is the public-facing side again. Mobile on left-hand side, or this is the proactive where we're actually popping the window, throughout the browsing pattern. If I click no thanks, I'm not going to get that same exact relevant offer. It may not trigger again till somewhere else throughout the browsing pattern. As a consumer, or go ahead.
This also happens on the agent sites.
Absolutely.
And then it's branded the agent from there.
Absolutely. So again, if I make the request, so the biggest fundamental difference is if I'm making the request because I landed on, Jim, your site, then you're going to receive that lead. Everything is branded by you automatically in that communication to the customer.
Got it.
And we have some stats. I didn't want to show them today, but we certainly have the stats to back it up, that we can show the difference between self-service. So the traditional model is we hope someone comes to our site and we hope they fill out a form, versus the relevant offers where we can show how many people are actually filling these out through the browsing process. More importantly, in a case of a 300 agent company, we're sending on average 80,000 emails a month behind the scenes, where this is happening unbeknownst to the company or to the agents, and the system is creating these and sending them out to your customers. So it's keeping the brand in front of them.
Can you offline later give me some ideas of, call it percentages, number of leads or requests like this against traffic for
Yes.
Just a site, somebody that you've got with?
Yep. And originally I had that part of this, and then I kind of taken it off, just say, let's go through the web platform. I could add it in for tomorrow or just provide it as a side note.
Sidebar.
With that, we call them real-time or instant listing emails. I know this is something that you might think that the MLSs do, but we're aggregating data 15 minutes or less. Our goal is to aggregate MLS data within 60 seconds or real time if we can. I believe we're already there for the data in your marketplaces. But something unique about Delta, and I don't think I've seen any other provider do this, is not only are our system notifications mobile friendly, but we put call to actions within that notification. So you're going to see in a save listing, we're asking the user right within the email, do you want to schedule a showing or ask a question about this property? So we are tracking that users are not even coming back to the site, they're making their request to see the property from the email that's in their inbox. And then in regards to content, such from a company level, it might be relocation or seller or buyer information. It could be, blog content, even on the, the professional level of here's areas that I serve or community events. You guys can control that. That is not, from static content, you do not have to come to our team to have our team replace content for you. It's part of our content management system that you'll be able to log in, go to that page, and change the information on that page. In regards to the blog, we are one of the few that have an integrated blogging platform on both the company and agent level. If this is something that you don't want to take on the task of blogging every week, you can provide or you can indicate RSS feed sources so that you can bring in relevant blog data every day that would appear on the site, so I don't have to feel that pressure of having to maintain a blog. And then we've also added the social engagement with the blog, which means I can to my blog, whether on the company or the agent level, and then I can share that onto my Facebook timeline. So again, you're getting both the core site and then being able to promote that via your social connections. We have reviews built into the platform. So, we don't think it's necessary that you would need a third-party review company. We believe there's a huge value not only to a real estate professional to provide these testimonials, but from a search engine optimization side. So our system, it's a moderated review, which means either the agent or the customer can place the review. The review does have to be approved before it shows to the public. And then we allow a 5-star rating to be indicated. Forgive me because I thought I had a screenshot on here. So what we're after is someone going on to Google, researching, let's say Mark in this case as a real estate professional, the ultimate win is that you're coming up above Zillow or Trulia with a 5-star rating of some level right in the Google search results. And we have been able to do that for our clients. And something unique, both on the company, because the company, there's certain areas that you specialize in, and this goes down to the real estate professional level as well. We have what's called market landing pages. So we can work with a company where we can build out content, or even on the agent level of indicating here are areas or subdivisions that I specialize in, and all I have to do is tell the system, by doing a query or a map search, this is the area. Here's the name of that link or that search, and then put that onto my company or my personal homepage. So this is a way that we're able to very strongly go after that long tail Google search by either area or specific landing pages devoted to those specific areas. I'm going to kind of skip over this real quick because the only important that the slide is trying to demonstrate is that when a company moves, what we're trying to do is tell Google that we study the URL structure and we make sure that that URL structure is in place or mapped to our system so that in any conversion, the best is no change as far as Google. Worst case is it's nominal as to the change effects as to how Google sees the site and then sees the new pages. So it is important because we do take pride in making sure that in any conversion that that everything maps and links together. I'll just pit stop on ADA compliance. I don't know if you're getting notifications yet on either from NAR or back from mid-year, but just so you know that our sites are ADA compliant. We take pride in that as well to make sure that we are following the guidelines as this becomes a more and more prominent issue throughout the industry.
Okay.
And they can access the agent's page through the company site, but then every agent would get a personal URL as part of the company solution. So as an example, first initial last name .napierera.com, or the agent can have the capability of going out and purchasing their own brand and then placing that on top of their personal site as part of the company solution. So very important that you know, the agent has flexibility in marketing themselves. Again, the biggest difference is if I, as the real estate professional, go out there and market myself, I can provide the IDX search, but I know that all leads generated through that agent portal are going to go to that specific agent. So as an example, showing you branding from both the mobile side and the company side, showing you the example of the saved search or the offers that we present to the end user. Here's an example of a listing, an IDX listing, how it's branded to the agent with the tools to share or to save or to ask a question. Same thing with my testimonials, and then market landing pages. Other tools that I think are important about talking about today, we have what's called a Market Watch tool. This would be similar to Realtor.com's Market Snapshot, where I can visit a professional's page. I can sign up for my neighborhood, where I can see listing, pending, or sold information in my neighborhood. We have social connectors, so that anytime a new listing anytime that I would get a new listing, it would automatically be dripped out to my connected Facebook profile page. And then, again, integrated blogging with social media support, even on the agent level. And again, this is the typical results. This would be a company traffic report, and Jim, I can go more in depth with you. But typical results. This is a company, roughly 300 agents that came on board 2 years ago. We had access to 3 years worth of their data prior to the change, and just by moving to our platform, implementing, training the agents, getting everyone excited about going out there and promoting the new online infrastructure, their site traffic doubled. As well as their leads doubled as well. So as far as the actual PowerPoint, that's what I have. I don't know if you want me to dive into, specific live examples.
Yeah, I do some.
Pick one of you, Jonathan. Pick one of your favorite clients and the website you think is the best, and navigate through a search slowly for us.
Sure. So I'm going to use, this is a 2,000 agent brokerage, where I have a lot of respect for the companies. Everything they do is extremely analytical. So there's science to why they do what they do. But here's an example of a user, coming to a homepage and doing a property search. So how our system works is we can aggregate multiple MLSs. We position that data to be searchable, not only as matching results, but if you notice in the array of top, there's top results. So we are showing what users are really looking for on the specific site. I'm going to go very macro here, so I'm going to go Lancaster. Here's a relevant, again, we're going to position the person you interested. If I click thank you. That'll find that'll go ahead and it'll keep track.
There we go.
Redo that property search for Lancaster. I already hit no thank you on that call to action. It's not going to keep bothering me with this call to action of, do you want to save the search or, whatever the offer may be at that time.
All right, so.
Okay, now it's going to move me to, based upon my search, it is going to move me to, they asked for their default to be the map search versus a listing results. So again, this is all of our new, we use Google Maps for the search process. I can drive all the way down. I can put on filters. So I could choose to show recently sold, contingent, or pending listings as part of that map search. And then I could drill all the way down to the listing.
Okay.
And then from the listing level, again, because I'm on company site, this is where you would apply rules as to, if this was a in-house listing, it would be branded to the agent. If this is an IDX listing, obviously we work with your teams to provide rules as to how that should be distributed amongst your agents. I can save it, I can share it, I can ask a question or schedule a showing. So on the agent level of things, I'll use Dominic, who's here in Canton, Ohio, as an example. This is, a wireframe agent design. Dominic has went ahead and customized that design and uploaded it to our platform. He can also customize all of the navigation across the top. But again, the biggest example here is that anytime I do a property search within the agent's website, Dominic is feels confident that he knows that any leads generated are going to be returned to him. Any action along the way, again, is going to be branded by Dominic automatically out to that customer.
Now, how many can Dominic change where that where this information is? I mean, on his site, does he have, how many options do they have for design or layout?
So there's two ways to answer that. Right now, there's over 300 different designs. There's about 10 wireframes that are similar to what Dominic's on, where he can customize, colors. He can upload his own header. He can control his navigation layout. He can also control the nesting or the drop-down menus as they appear. So he has complete control over those main items. Now, the change is on a completely mobile-first responsive template. That's a little bit different because it's a little tough when there's elements such as a custom header, on a one-by-one basis to make sure that the system sees that that's responsive. So as an example, I used Mark. I used Mark as my example in my PowerPoint. This is a completely responsive where it's a little bit more themed and controlled. But again, it shrinks down to the mobile.
How about the one we just saw there with Cutler? What does it look like on mobile?
That one's not, the Dominic example has not been made responsive yet.
Oh.
So what'll happen is you'll get you'll get our, older version of mobile where it's more app-like, where it'll ask, do you want me to show you the location on a map? This example now on the screen is the most up-to-date. So we are building out themes for this level now, where again, the agent can change photos in the background, they can change colors, of the page. They can control their content and their nav. And I'd be glad to log in if you want me, if you want to see more of the tools that control it. But I don't know if that's something that would be saved for tomorrow.
Now let's just spend a couple minutes and show us how easy that can be, because that's part of this process. That's just making sure if it's easy, then we're more likely to use it. So, show me.
So every agent receives a login, and again, when the agent logs in, they're only going to see information that pertains to them. Because I logged in with an admin privilege, I have to authenticate as that agent. So when an agent logs in, they see everything that just belongs to them. I'm going to jump right into the website tab, which controls everything the public sees. And this is where I have control over my site design. This is one of our first companies, so this would have been, the previous example of the template. And then you'll see where we just enabled all the module mobile first responsive. Then I can control the pages. So I can create hundreds of pages of content on my site. I can also control the drop-down menus. So if I would prefer property search to be a top-level navigation item, I can move that to the top and then nest my searches beneath it. So again, I'm creating drop-down menus. Earlier I showed you that those market landing pages. So if I'd like to specify a specific area, now I'm going to go, again, high level here, but if I want to specify a search for, Richmond, Virginia, I can simply tell the system, create a page for the city of Richmond, or this could be a subdivision, or it could be, it could be a country club for that matter. I'll save it, and now the system automatically built an entire page devoted to that specific market that I serve. And again, there's text boxes, back on that page that I can modify if I want to extend the static content or make it more relevant to the search that I just created. I can control, my photo, name, all of my contact information, all of my social links, subtitles, slogans. I can put in content, so the box, the profile box can handle, technically 1 million characters of text, which is a huge amount of information. But that, again, can all be controlled from the overview. I can create links out to other sites. I can embed widgets. Some agents are using Truly and Zillow widgets. That's no problem. They can place those JavaScripts. The review system can be as simple as adding a brand new review, a 5-star rating. Once I save it, I simply approve it, and it would have showed to the public. I can create as many blogs as I want.
And these are blog posts, not blogs, or is it?
It's first you kind of have to start with the blog itself. But as a starting point, I might say, for my blog that will appear on my personal site, go ahead and bring in, information from CNN or Wall Street Journal, or it might be a local newspaper RSS feed. But then I can create categories. So once the blog is created, now I can add content to that blog. So I could have categories. So I could have featured listings. I could have, from a company side, featured agents. I could have specific community blogs. So every community could have its own line of content.
Right.
Again, we talked about Facebook. So, what I could do is I could connect up, I can sign into Facebook through the platform, and that will connect my account so that anytime that I get a new listing, it'll automatically post out to my Facebook timeline. And you know, everything else I kind of saved for tomorrow's presentation, but
yeah, I think the important thing here is just knowing how easily we can edit the website. So I'm not worried about the rest of the stuff in here.
okay.
But you know, is there value to this one?
Yeah. And you know, from a time frame, you know, a company of your size and an implementation, you know, at that point the system's going to be 100% mobile. So some of the examples I showed that like as an example, Dominic, that's not going to be the case. You know, at that point everything is mobile first.
Okay.
The system is flexible, and I think this is a valuable statement, is that even though you know, Mark's site is powered off of the company solution, if Mark or maybe it's a team would like to have something a little bit more advanced, and again, this is, you know, how we structure our business relationship, whether it's being done through your marketing team or through our team, we can build custom sites on top of the company platform. So the flexibility is, yeah, this may be what I get through the company offering, but if I really want a custom look and feel, you know, through you, or they can come to us directly, we can work with them on making a custom look and feel just for that team or for that specific top producer.
Jonathan, that's charged to us on an hourly basis? How does that work?
It could be done on a quoted or hourly basis, you know, where,
okay.
or you might get, you know, what you'll learn doing business with us is there might be a few times that we go through, you know, a time and material where we'll quote it out, we'll build it, but eventually you'll understand is how we, you know, here's the expectation of what something custom may cost, so that you could offer it out to your agents, and we can work within those guidelines.
Well, we prefer to pay for it. So the maximum flexibility of the site, the agent site, is real important to us and to our agents.
Sure.
We'd like to be able to offer more flexibility at no cost to them. And so the ease at which these pages or sites, I want to call them a site, they're not, are these actually a website or are they a page?
You know, it's actually considered a website.
Okay.
So again, when someone's clicking from even, you know, an office roster or going directly, you know, the defaults, you know, username.companydomainname.com. So the internet sees this as an individual website, but again, it's all powered off of that corporate infrastructure.
Okay. But how much flexibility can you show us, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 quick samples of different agent within your platform, different agent page looks, and the you know, the one that you showed me with the one, but this one just looks like he's got his picture up in the corner. That's pretty blah. Maybe that's just the blahness of Napier or whatever the company is in Virginia. Okay, here's another one, the Greco Team Real Estate. Okay.
Yeah, so this would be one where we're finding a lot of companies want to cater to the teams, and our solution will allow that. So this is where the team,
cater to a team or cater to a productive, technologically capable agent.
Sure.
You know, let's present them with a sophisticated website.
Right. And again, I'm doing some crossover here, David. So, you know, I'm showing you some examples where some of these may not have been converted responsive yet. So I just want to, you know, be honest and truthful that some of these still.
You're saying that some of these are not mobile responsive.
Yeah. And meaning that they're not responsive.
Why aren't they?
Meaning they're not responsive to shrink to screen.
Yeah.
However, you know, this would previously how we would have done mobile, where from a mobile device we would have detected the mobile device, therefore we would have given a mobile experience. Just not when we say responsive, meaning we're shrinking content. And the reason that's moving slower than expected is there's so much content that needs to be moved to the responsive system, so that the content itself shrinks to fit. But, as an example, I mean, just by uploading, custom headers and custom background images can make a huge difference as to how the agent goes out there and brands themselves.
Right.
And I'll put together some other examples as a follow-up to this call, just so that you could distribute them to the team that's evaluating.
Okay.
I'll show you
Go ahead.
a neat example of a company. This is an Akron, Ohio company that we just launched. This would be considered more of a custom build. It is built responsive. And I think what a unique approach of what they've done is they've created this whole Explore Our Area navigation, where this is based upon their office locations, and then within each of those office locations, they've actually, are starting to build out not only community profiles, but then, here's some dining, and then here's some, reviews for that dining. So they're training the agents to go out into the field and to meet business owners and to, give good feedback. And by doing that, maybe there's, is it okay if I leave some marketing material behind, if any of your employees want to buy or sell, homes. I thought this was a really unique and strong community positioning. So, and sometimes you can only get so custom as to what's going to show on a mobile device's screen. So functionality is always our top concern. We can build anything, but we just want to make sure it's usable.
Right. Mobile first.
Mobile first. So that's what I had prepared for you today. Tomorrow's plan is to show you the tools, how I can manage my customers, how I can e-market to those customers, saving the searches from, or creating the Market Watch reports from the agent level.
Yeah.
That would be the plan for tomorrow.
And that's fine. I don't know that I have any other questions for today.
I have a question. I'm an agent. My name's Renee. When right now I run Facebook ads, and I like to go back and look at how many people are actually going to my website. Do you provide reporting tools like that, and then taking a step further, how many people are going to my testimonial page versus other pages? And also, do you have the ability to break it down to if I put a widget on a certain page? I mean, my web page, my real estate on that, I need to make the best of it. So can I track how many people are using a certain functionality that I put on my main page versus other things?
Yes, and on different levels, because you're going in some cases very granular as to what widget may be driving traffic. All of the agents, all of you will be able to add a Google UA code. So we'd urge everyone to sign up for Google Analytics, which is free and provides a very extensive reporting of exactly what you're talking about. And there's a place that you would just put that code right on your site, and you got analytics coming through Google. The other part where we give some pretty standard stats would be, how many customers do you have visiting your site on a first and returning basis. We also show, what's the referring site. So here's a good example of Bill, who really embraces Facebook, where you can see Facebook is driving 3,000 referrals to a site versus the company versus Google, and then anything else that he's participating in. And I don't have a Google's Analytic login, but ready to go for today. But you could, in Google Analytics, you could actually drive down to entry and exit pages of your site. So you would see that users are coming into a specific landing page and what they're viewing and how long they're viewing it on.
Okay. Thanks.
Renee, is that what you're asking, or are you asking something else?
Yeah. Right now, I just see, and right now what I can see, the little bit that I can see, doesn't really always match what Facebook's telling me. So I kind of want to look at how I'm spending my money. Is it worthy spending, or what days should I be looking at? Yeah, you know, and I've worked a little bit with Google Analytics. I question though, I'd have to go back and look at it, is, you know, I've got an experience, but for your basic agent, is that going to be an overload? Would it be something, but I don't know if everybody's going to want to look at what they're putting on. If they add a certain, like a map widget that has data input, would they want to, you know, track how many, I don't know. I mean, but.
Well, Renee, the average person isn't. You're not average. The average agent isn't going to take the time to learn to understand. You're more sophisticated in your approach, but you've got to help us. Does it look like something you can navigate? And this is just the first quick look. You know, we're not in the decision-making process, but as we get closer, that when we start drilling down, you know, is this something that a sophisticated agent can use and get what they need, as opposed to, hey, I'm pretty good at this, and this is too much for me. And so then we don't want that. You know, we want something that not the average agent, but the agent that's sophisticated in their approach can say, hey, this is cool. Hey, I can use this. This is the kind of information I need access to. That's why we've invited you, because you got a different approach. Okay, keep going. That's enough of that lecture.
No, and Renee, you're asking great questions, and you know, on the level that you're asking, I would be able to email you some reports where, you know, an agent has signed up for Google Analytics, where you can really dive into how the site's performing, and ultimately.
Yeah, I think I would. Yeah, I'd almost need to see a hard copy and just kind of be able to look at it. It's kind of hard in this. But yeah, to me, I think as we move forward with social media and that, and to teach people, and at least if they have like how you have this layout here, and they can at least see, you know, how many hits they're getting from Facebook, and start to tie that together and see that relationship.
And we're starting to see that trend where, you know, from a professional standpoint, as Facebook or any social for that matter should be probably 1 or 2 as a ranking, you know, next to Google, next to a company solution, as far as where the traffic's coming from. And a lot of times that's derived by, you know, how many listings that you have too, because the listing content is by far the #1 driving source of that traffic. Or it could be, you know, maybe I'm after listings. So are you interested in selling your property? Now I'm going on to Facebook, and I've built, you know, what you could do, and this might be relevant, Renee, is that you could build out pages that, based upon the content of that page, you could also make that page where the user has to log in, or it's kind of like a forced registration. So if you're doing any Google pay-per-click, or if you're promoting a page, it would bring the user back to a specific page that right away it asks them to register, and then they can view the content. So that's another way of monetizing or looking at the ROI of those investments that you're making with those medias.
All right. Anybody else?
Okay, any other thoughts, anybody? Okay, Jonathan, thank you.
Thank you, and then tomorrow we'll take you through the CRM section.
Yep.
And show you all the marketing tools.
Yep. That's the plan.
All right. All right. Thanks, everyone, for your time.
Thank you, everybody.
Take care.
See you at 3 o'clock. Bye-bye.